Without uttering a single new word, Kendrick Lamar simply rocked the music industry. He transformed Humble Ah, the song that once put him at the top of the game, into something with a single, surprising move. Drake has never managed to pull off a culture-shifting, legacy-defining explosion that broke records, silenced skeptics, and sent fans into a frenzy. A silent bomb that blew up the charts and humiliated the competition. No announcement, no rollout, no features. According to insiders, it's the best hip-hop resurrection of a classic song ever. Even Drake's crew is in disbelief about what transpired next, according to industry executives. Because, let's face it, how often has a 2017 song returned and caused this much harm? This is the part that no one anticipated. It wasn't remixed by Kendrick. Bars were not added by him. He fixed it. What was included with it? Before we plunge into the devastation Kendrick just unleashed, let's take a step back. This frightening new video, along with a hidden message and one jaw-dropping surprise, has everyone wondering, did Kendrick just end the debate for good? Because this wasn't a chance occurrence. This had been developing for years. Drake and Kendrick Lamar have been circling each other in the same arena like wolves for a long time, although they were both experts in their fields and controlled various facets of society. They never engaged in full-scale combat. Since the early 2010s, fans have been speculating about it. Around it, journalists danced. Rappers silently took sides, but everyone knew there was conflict. It wasn't a music contest. This was a conflict between legacy, vision, and ideals. Drake rose to prominence on the charts. Radio anthem after radio anthem, stream after stream, creating a dynasty based on mainstream appeal and relatability. Conversely, Kendrick was creating something more profound, slower, and more impact-based. He has no intention of being the loudest. He was creating a message that would endure beyond all of them. And at the core of that message was Humble, which was more than simply a hit when it was released in 2017. It was a warning shot shrouded in piano keys and silent wrath. A cultural earthquake. Take a seat and be modest, straightforward, and memorable. People believed it was directed at the rap game at the time. Some said it was a subliminal directed at Drake, but Kendrick never provided any proof. The numbers spoke for themselves. So he didn't need to add anything. Became Kendrick's first solo #1 on rhythmic radio. After debuting at #2 on the Billboard Hot 100, received over 1 billion views on YouTube, and won a Grammy for Best Rap Performance and Best Rap Song. The weird part comes next. Kendrick never surfed the wave despite all of that success. He never tweeted bragging rights or republished statistics. Since humility wasn't the end goal for him, he simply kept going. It was the design. Let's talk about Drake in the meanwhile. Drake was topping the charts year after year while Kendrick was taking a hiatus from solo releases. Her Loss, Scorpion, and The Certified Lover Boy are all performing amazing feats. However, there was always a cloud over him despite the sales. Where's the stuff? Why does Kendrick's music seem to age better than his? Why hasn't he produced a moment that makes two pimps happy? Drake's supporters stood up for him. Kendrick's supporters retaliated. And the one song that remained silent and unflinching in the midst of it all was Modest. This is where things get crazy, though. In an effort to prolong their life, keep them on the charts, and create new moments, Johnny Drake has previously re-released a number of his songs via live performances, streaming bundles, and alternate edits. However, none of them ever managed to rekindle the culture the way they did when they originally came out. Until Kendrick, none of them ever caused anyone to pause and ask, wait, what did he just do? So far, because people believed that Kendrick's re-upload of Humble, which was titled Humble Restored Edition, was at most a remaster, possibly a crisper mix. However, without altering a single word in the lyrics or adding even a single new bar, no one could have foreseen what happened next. Kendrick attacked the entire concept of legacy measurement with a visual counterattack, and he connected to do it. He gave $10 million to Compton High School in real life. Yes, you heard correctly. Kendrick was reassembling classrooms as others flaunted their jewelry and jets. In addition to using Humble as the soundtrack for something much larger than a hit song, he created a high school by hand. And the repaired version is currently popular once more. Since Kendrick just demonstrated to the world that a song with a purpose will always hit harder than a song with playlists. It smashed streaming records and is igniting discussions about Drake's whole career. What will happen next, Johnny? The true drama starts at that point. The real twist was that the internet was still processing what Kendrick had just done with Humble Restored Edition. This was more than just a legacy tribute. Fans didn't like it because it was a blatant jab at Drake. Watch it, a particular video frame ignited a conspiratorial conflagration. The scene occurs just as the beat begins to drop again, 2 minutes and 34 seconds into the repaired version. Kendrick passes a locker with the word "fake" spray-painted on it, far too rapidly to notice. Numbers after them don't indicate impact. The internet went crazy. It's hardly a coincidence that a TikTok user submitted after zooming in on frame B. As you are all aware, Kendrick is criticizing Drake himself. This guy has been dropping nothingness while selling millions. Kendrick is pursuing eternity rather than hits. After the post received 6 million views in a single day, the comment area abruptly descended into chaos. Compared to Drake's 4 albums, Kendrick conveyed more in 4 words. This is the kind of record Drake could never create. Years later, talk again. The numbers don't. The latest control verse is called Mean Impact. For a period, however, it didn't end there. False insider information began to circulate. According to one purported screenshot, a direct message from a member of Kendrick's team claimed that Drake attempted to purchase a documentary on Anastasso's Compton schools the previous year, but withdrew when Kendrick's name was mentioned. He's angry now. Funny, this was posted in a Discord group by another alleged insider. Kendrick anticipated Drake's deluxe. He intentionally dropped this. It was precisely timed. And you know what? They were correct. Drake was working on a follow-up release, the Scorpion Anniversary Edition, which included new artwork, a few demos, and previously unheard studio versions of shelved tracks, was scheduled to be released that same week. However, following overnight, Humble Restored Edition became the #1 song. Silently, Drake pushed it back. Just removed from the schedule. No tweet, no publicity. Fans took note. He actually held his roll since Kendrick breathed on a beat he already owned, according to a tweet with 9 OK likes. Another claimed that Kendrick flattened his tires and Drake wanted to spin the block. The drama really gets ugly here, though. Screenshots from a purported OO group discussion were published by a well-known music blog. Despite the chaos of the debate, one line caught my attention. Someone who is thought to be 40 years old. Drake replied with a single emoji to the comment made by his right-hand producer. Humble was a warning shot. We should have dropped last month. Was he referring to Kendrick as a clown? Bro. Was it self-aware irony? Or was he making fun of the entire movement? Nobody is aware. However, just one emoji made news in the hip-hop press. Kendrick's regained humility prompts a response from Drake. Fans were split. Drake versus Kendrick. The fight for legacy just became personal. Silent surrender, or the clown emoji. When Kendrick's longtime collaborator Dave Free shared a picture of the modest video shoot on Instagram. With a whiteboard in the background, it fueled the flames even more. A few monarchs are buried in waterways. The fans went crazy. Lost. It's Creators of TikTok started to speculate that Kendrick was orchestrating the entire drop as a secret disc masquerading as a party. According to one viral video, he didn't say Drake's name since he was spared the trouble. It was all stated in the symbolism. The real king does not return the clap. All he does is walk taller. However, a private party-in-law was the target of the first real-world repercussion. Drake and Kendrick were reportedly invited to the same industry event, which was a closed-list celebration for a significant award show partner, according to sources. P-Long crew arrived with Kendrick. Relax, no entourage. Drake, he was observed leaving just 10 minutes after arriving later. This was leaked to a hip-hop page by an insider. He entered, nodded, then lowered when he saw Kendrick on the other side of the room. No. Hi there. Not even a handshake. There were rumors that their relationship had finally reached a breaking point. Kendrick wasn't merely going over humble again. He was annulled. There's been respect between them for years, but now that might be done. Kendrick just moved the needle and Drake isn't laughing about it, a well-known Drake affiliate stated live on Twitch that evening. And just when you thought that was it, a billboard appeared in downtown Toronto. No logos, just black text. Signed at the bottom, it said, "Impact can't be streamed. Bro PG Lang." Recently, Kendrick purchased a billboard in Drake City. That's chess, not just legacy. Kendrick still hadn't spoken though. No response, no interview, no tweet, just that silence. Compared to a diss, it was louder. Following the viral success of the Toronto billboard, fans and industry insiders were certain Kendrick wasn't merely going over humble again. He was announcing war. Furthermore, this was not the sort of online banter or diss-song conflict. No, Kendrick was fighting for his legacy. And without having to shout, each action was calculated, accurate, and deadly. However, what followed? No one anticipated it. Respected hip-hop journalist Samantha Pierce hosts an insider flip-dot on a late-night Twitter area, remarking that they had worked inside the OO machine. A startling voice joined in. Although the man did not disclose his true identity, he did have previous voice memos, audio snippets, receipts, and even documentation containing Meat Tad's unreleased song and his claim. Ever since Kendrick won the Pulitzer Prize, Drake has been fixated on legacy. Although he is aware that his catalog generates a lot of revenue, he secretly senses that void. He desired to accomplish something significant, something modest, but Kendrick simply outdid him once more. After that space closed, blogs took off. According to Exavosaurus, Drake is obsessed with surpassing Kendrick's legacy. According to an insider leak, Humble repaired Kendrick and destroyed Drake's impending rollout rather than dissing. Then the unexpected celebrity reaction arrived. A portion of Kendrick's modestly restored film was published by LeBron James, the king himself, on his EIG narrative. Caption: "This is what happens when art and purpose come together." Fans of Mic Drop began referring to it as the royal cosign. Media outlets also joined in. King James chose his hip-hop king on ESPN. And it's not Drake. Drake's recent somber gym selfie with the message, "Some people clap louder for your failure than their own win," didn't help either. Was it directed at fans, Brown, or Kendrick? The damage was done, but no one knew. The following mysterious message was then uploaded by a Reddit user under the Hippopod subreddit, revealing Kendrick's next action. Wait until you hear the follow-up if you believed Humble Restored was the last one. It's a statement rather than a song, and it's performed live. Hold on. What? As it turns out, Kendrick was organizing a live performance installation related to Humble that would be held during the ribbon-cutting event at Compton High School. However, this was not merely a local occurrence. There were rumors that streaming rights had been signed by HBO, YouTube, and Apple Music. The worst part is, that a press memo that was released revealed the performance's name, Legacy Greater Than Streams. A live art event that Kendrick Lamar produced. Humble was becoming a movement thanks to this man. Drake is still mute, but the fans aren't so sure. Theories exploded on TikTok. Did Kendrick just outperform Drake in terms of marketing? Why does Drake seem to have lost a feud that never even began? Kendrick did better than Drake without mentioning his name. The cherry on top and scary levels. There are so many threads on Twitter. Kendrick's rollout, 1 video, 1 billboard, 0 tweets. Drake's last 5 drops, 32 posts, 8 trailers, and 15 teases. Who's really winning? Underneath it, thousands of replies. Some fans dragged out Drake's rollout history, while others defended his numbers. And some brought up ghostwriting again because, of course, they did. But one quote stood out and was reposted by numerous people. Then the real bombshell came. Spotify put Humble Restored on 5 editorial playlists, something they rarely do for re-releases and industry analysis sites. ChartTac posted Kendrick's 2017 song, which just beat Drake's 2023 lead single in 48 tower streams from the grave. No promo. Yo, Drake dropped a full campaign for all 4 dogs. Kendrick dropped a new cut of an old video and won. Finally, just when it seemed things couldn't get any worse, Kendrick's team sent out a press email with just 1 sentence. Isn't the return. This is a reminder. What does that mean? Is Kendrick planning a public tour, a docu-series, or a whole new album? Nobody knows, but we do know that he's not done. When Kendrick's modestly restored edition hit the charts, the internet went crazy. Team Kendrick took over, and everyone had something to say. Reddit was a repository of receipts. Twitter, now X, was a battlefield, and TikTok was a war zone. One TikTok went viral with 8 million views, breaking it down like this: Drake makes hits, and Kendrick makes history. This isn't about numbers anymore. The creator turned it humorously. Drake is currently in the studio. Should have dropped my own high school too, the comments read. Kendrick donated a school. Drake donated a bad house track. T brought a song back to life and still bodied the game. This different, Humble, Restored got more impact than Drake's last 3 albums combined. But not everyone agreed. Team Drake clapped back hard. Humble was already a classic. Kendrick does nothing but repackage nostalgia. Drake stays relevant year-round. Humble was a trend for 3 days, but nobody in the club. The debates were intense, and then the celebrities jumped in. J. Cole, on his burner Twitter, liked a thread that claimed that Kendrick wasn't trying to win charts, but rather to win time. Cardi B reposted the humbly restored video with fire emojis and Pusha. Twent Full Savage, tweeting, "This is what silence sounds like when it hits harder than a verse." The moment that really turned heads was when Shaw went on live saying that Kendrick's brain was different and that he doesn't just drop Son. Fans immediately split up over the BET Hip Hop Awards, honoring a restored version of an old song over current chart toppers. This was a cultural reset. No remixes aren't eligible for awards, even if they are hits. I love it. Even Drake had to. I'll admit that if he wins for a song that's 6 years old, that might be the coldest flex in rap history. While all of this was going on, Drake hadn't said a single word, but fans continued to watch. Every emoji. They were waiting for a clapback. Some wanted bars. Some wanted silence. And just when the industry thought Kendrick was done, Kendrick's team sent out a final message, short, icy, and devastating. Posted to PG Lang's official X account at 11:59 p.m. when the Humble Restored edition had already made history. And when Drake fans were finally hoping the storm might pass, Kendrick's team sent out a final message that read, "He chased hits. We chased home. A kingdom was founded by one of us. One created a playlist. The entire sector came to a halt." Just 28 words that seemed to be an epitaph to Drake's supremacy. No marketing, no hashtags. One thing was evident, even as fans argued about whether Kendrick truly penned it. This conflict wasn't poetic. It was structural. Drake created moments. Monuments were being built by Kendrick. Then, on a Twitch Live, the confession from inside the Six came. A songwriter who had contributed. Too certified lover boy, one of Drake's lesser-known colleagues, unintentionally made a significant mistake. What's crazy to you? For a hook, we nearly sampled Humble. There was a concept for it, I won't lie. We didn't follow through, but Drake felt it may be ironic. 40 believed it was too dangerous. Kendrick's own song was almost used in a Drake project. The story is entirely altered, if that is the case. It implies that Drake thought Humble was more than just a popular song. He perceived it as an impenetrable shadow. And Kendrick was aware of it. The true surprise, though, was when Johnny performed at Compton High School as part of Legacy Greater Than Streams Live, which was broadcast to more than 6 million people on YouTube and Apple Music. When Kendrick took the stage, he was dressed entirely in white. There was only one spotlight behind him. No flames, no dancers, no spectacle. A huge screen showing the original Modest music video in reverse, youth protests, and early pictures of black pupils. However, the screen glitched and showed a phrase that had never been seen before when the beat stopped. Being superior to him was never the goal here. It was about demonstrating that you didn't have to be. Double quotations. Boom. The audience became quiet. The chat streams stopped working. Theories filled TikTok right away. Was Kendrick acknowledging that the feud was one-sided, in that he was always after something greater and never pursued Drake? And then it cut to a black dot. The Pillong logo fades into the words Chapter 1 restored, with no encore or farewell. Chapter 2 was soon to be released. What does that signify? Will a complete album be released soon? A little movie. A documentary revealing the whole sector. We're not sure yet. However, one thing is evident. Not only did Kendrick bring Humble back to life, he changed Drake's and hip-hop's definition of legacy. He must make a decision. Remain mute and fade, or clap back and run the chance of being humiliated once more. You've seen everything now. Humble's restoration did more than just bring back a beloved song. It changed the course of history. A dot, there was no single released by Kendrick Lamar. Drake was left stranded in the smoke after he dropped a legacy grenade. Impact only, no bars, no interviews. In a world full of checkers, Kendrick played chess in a covert stage show in Compton and quiet billboards in Toronto. We must now inquire, however, if Kendrick put a formal end to the argument. Is Drake's dominance based more on streaming than on content? Will this be the quiet before Kendrick's next outburst? Because let's not overlook the last message. Chapter 1 has been restored. Chapter 2 will be released soon. What comes next? Is it a visual album, a whole CD, or something larger? Now share your theory in the comments. Should Drake say something? Or say nothing? Press the like button, Team Kendrick. If you're here for Team Drake, please let us know in the comments. The conflict. We assure you that this is not the end, so please subscribe and enable notifications. And Johnny Chapter 2 might rock the industry's foundation if Chapter 1 was this strong. We might be discussing more than just a song the next time, so stay tuned. We may be discussing the end of an era.